Listen and repeat. Listen. Okay. Listen for main ideas on personal responsibility.
Listening to Personal Responsibility. Listen for main ideas. Page 92.
So, you're all ready to discuss this week's assignment, I hope.
So, you're all ready to discuss this week's assignment, I hope.
Individual responsibility.
Individual responsibility.
I'd like to start with our personal experiences
I'd like to start with our personal experiences
and focus on home life.
and focus on home life.
Naomi, would you like to begin?
Naomi, would you like to begin?
Sure. Well, speaking for myself,
Sure. Well, speaking for myself,
I live with my parents, and
I live with my parents,
so I think it's important to help out as much as possible.
and so I think it's important to help out as much as possible.
For example,
For example,
I'm in charge of taking out the garbage
I'm in charge of taking out the garbage
and sorting all the bottles,
and sorting all the bottles,
papers, and plastic things for recycling.
papers and plastic things for recycling.
How important do you think that obligation
Hmm. How important do you think that obligation is?
is?
Recycling?
Recycling?
It's really important.
It's really important.
I mean, my mom and dad don't really care,
I mean, my mom and dad don't really care.
so that's why I do it all.
That's so that's why I do it all.
And Michael, how about you?
And Michael, how about you?
Oh, I help out around the house.
Oh, I help out around the house.
I do the dishes after meals and
I do the dishes after the meals
wash the car every weekend on
and wash the car every weekend
Saturday mornings.
on Saturday mornings.
Those are my main responsibilities.
Those are my main responsibilities.
And you, Neil?
And you, Neil?
Oh, I have to look after my little sister when my parents aren't around.
I have to look after my little sister when my parents are around.
They both work.
They both work.
She's 7,
She's 7.
so when I get back home,
So when I get back home,
I usually make her dinner and help
I usually make her dinner
her with her homework.
and help her with homework.
That kind of thing.
That kind of thing.
Maria,
Maria,
what are you responsible for at home?
where, what are you responsible for at home?
I take care of our pets.
I take care of our pets.
We have 2 rabbits and a cat,
We have 2 rabbits and a cat,
and they are quite a lot of work.
and they are quite a lot of work.
So it seems as if you all feel responsible for helping out at home in some way.
So it seems as if you all feel responsible for helping out at home in some way.
Okay, let's widen this out a little now
Okay, let's widen this out a little now
and think a little more about parents and children.
and think a little more about parents and children.
How many of you have parents who always want to know where you are?
How many of you have parents who always want to know where you are?
I see quite a few.
Quite a few. I see, quite a few.
How do you feel about that,
How do you feel about that,
Maria?
Maria?
Well, I know they worry about me when I go out.
Well, I know they worry about me when I go out.
I guess that means they feel responsible for me,
I guess that means they feel responsible for me,
but I wish they would,
but I wish they would.
like relax.
Like relax.
They should just trust me to be sensible.
They should just trust me to be sensible.
They don't need to check up on me.
They don't need to check up on me. Check up on me.
Where I go or the friends I have.
where I go or the friends I have,
But they do.
but they
They
do.
phone me all the time when
They phone me all the time
I'm out.
when I'm
It
out.
makes me really angry sometimes.
It makes me really angry sometimes.
It's not always easy for parents, is it?
It is not always easy for parents, is it?
Do any of you sometimes lie to your parents?
Do any of you sometimes lie to your parents?
Maybe tell your parents you're going to one place when in fact you go somewhere else?
Maybe tell your parents where you are going to one place when in fact you go somewhere else?
Neil,
Neil,
Sometimes, yeah.
sometimes, yeah.
can you give an example?
Can you give an example?
Well, I mean, they don't like me playing computer games at home.
I mean, they don't like me playing computer games at home,
So sometimes I say I'm going to the park
so sometimes I say I'm going to the park
when I really go to Jason's house and play games.
when I really go to Jason's house and play games.
I feel kind of guilty,
I feel kind of guilty.
but
Why do you think your parents don't like you playing computer games, Neil?
Why do you think your parents don't like you playing computer games, Neil?
they say they're too violent,
They say they are too violent, you know?
and they think there's too much bad language.
And they think there's too much bad language.
All that.
All that.
Are they right?
Are they right?
Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah, I guess so.
But playing those games doesn't mean I become violent and use bad language all the time.
But playing those games does not mean I become violent and use bad language all the time.
They should trust me more.
They should trust me more.
Trust me to be responsible.
Trust me to be responsible.
I'm old enough to make my own decisions.
I am old enough to make my own decisions.
How do the rest of you feel about that?
How do the rest of you feel about that?
So you want your parents to trust you to be responsible.
So you want your parents to trust you to be responsible.
Does age have something to do with it?
Does age have something to do with that?
The amount of responsibility your parents think is appropriate
The amount of responsibility your parents think is appropriate
might depend on how old you are.
might depend on how old you are.
Yes, Naomi?
Yes, I think that's right.
Yes, I think that's right.
But by the age of 16,
By the age of 16,
you're old enough to know the difference between right and wrong.
you are old enough to know the difference between right and wrong.
Neil, do you
Neil,
agree with that?
do you agree with that?
Yes, I'd say around 15, 16.
Yes, I say around 15, 16.
You should be responsible for what you do by then.
You should be responsible for what you do by then.
I don't agree at all.
I don't agree at all.
Really, Maria?
Really, Maria?
Why not?
Why not?
You're still too young at 16.
You're still too young at 16.
People can influence you in the wrong way.
People can influence you in the wrong way.
I know people who changed a lot in high school.
I know people who changed a lot in high school.
In a bad way,
In a bad way.
because they met the wrong people,
Because they met the wrong people,
had the wrong friends.
had the wrong friends.
I think you have to be 20
I think you have to be 20
before you're really responsible.
before you're really responsible.
Michael?
Michael,
I think you can be responsible from a much younger age.
I think you can be responsible from a much younger age.
I mean, from the age of 5 or 6, your parents can teach you what is right and wrong.
I mean, from the age of 5 or 6, your parents can teach you what is right and wrong,
How to behave,
how to behave,
how to respect other
how to respect,
people,
how to respect the people,
and not.
and. Okay, so this is part of the conversation about personal responsibility. You listen again and repeat. Thank you.